I'm a fool, such a fool for you. I'm a fool.
We ride together. We die together.
Such a
And their molecules 1/6 the weight of steel, but 150 times stronger. It's in fact the strongest material ever discovered, and implications are huge, meaning stronger and lightweight aircraft, cars, buildings, and more.
This wonder material has its limitations. Currently, we can only grow them to about 3/4 of an inch. Furthermore, we don't know how to connect them together in a strong fashion.
Researchers at the Engineer Research and Development Center are working with MIT, NASA, University of Illinois, and Rice University. They hope to find a way to bond the molecules together. The goal of the Army's 3-year study is to produce a material that's twice the strength.
They saw evidence of Harry's long chains of carbon atoms, captured fleetingly by the laser. They also saw something else. The clusters of 60 atoms that Exxon had seen, but more of them. Again and again, 60 was the cluster that carbon preferred. Now Rick really did get interested in what Harry was doing. Why did carbon atoms form such a stable cluster? What was special about the magic number 60?
If there's any element we know how it bonds, it's carbon. That's what chemistry has largely been about for several hundred years. And we know with many examples that carbon likes to bond, usually with 4 other atoms. And in fact, in diamond, the pretty form of carbon, that's exactly what it does. I have a model of a little piece of the diamond lattice here. You can see that each carbon atom, for example, this little black dot, connected through these green bonds to 4 other carbon atoms. That is, except if they're on the surface, in which case there aren't the little black balls to connect with, and these dangling bonds don't know what to do. Now, ordinary diamond doesn't have a problem with this because hydrogen is used to terminate each and every one of these bonds. And in fact, if you had a diamond ring on your finger and you move your finger across the surface of the diamond, you're not touching carbon at all. Because there's hydrogens on the surface. In fact, you're rubbing a single atomic layer of hydrogen on the surface. But we knew we didn't have any hydrogen in the machine. Well, there is another way that carbon can bond that we know about as chemists. That's with just 3 other atoms. And the most common form of this, as we know, is just plain old graphite, which is, in fact, infinite planes, or effectively infinite planes, huge planes of sort of chicken wire lattices like this, connected 6-membered rings, each carbon connected to 3 others. And in graphite, there's one plane against another stacked up. But once again, here are these edges.
These dangling bonds should make a tiny cluster attract other carbon atoms and grow. Yet here, they had a cluster that stopped at 60. Why?
We wondered what could possibly make it so strong. We thought about many possible structures, and as it went up and down like a yo-yo on various runs that we did, we came to the conclusion that perhaps it was a closed cage of some sort.
Let's suppose we go back just to a single large sheet. And this has roughly 60 carbon atoms. Obviously, it has a lot of dangling bonds around the edges, but suppose somehow we're able to wrap around so that these dangling bonds here could connect to those dangling bonds. Maybe there was some way of wrapping that sheet around to do it, but we couldn't really imagine how that would be done.
One image, which was in my mind from way back, it was that of Buckminster Fuller's dome at Expo 67.
The design of lightweight spherical structures was the life's work of the American architect Buckminster Fuller.
Add up to 360 degrees, therefore it becomes a plane and goes to infinity and won't return upon itself from the common center. We begin to get then spherical triangles.
His was the idea of the geodesic dome.
These are what we call geodesic radomes.
In fact, one time I had considered writing to him for a job because I was interested in many of his ideas. But at the same time, I was offered a job at Sussex, and so I finally plumped for a career in science rather than one in architecture and graphics and design. I'd been in Montreal at Expo 67, and I remembered going into the Buckminster Fuller's Dome and pushing my son in a pram up amongst the escalators and towards the struts, the intricate structure that held the dome together. In fact, one aspect of it is that it really did seem to be made up almost completely of hexagons.
Here, after all, we had a hexagonal sheet. Maybe if we figured out how Buckminster Fuller did this, we could figure out how to curl these things around on each other.
The other thing that I remembered, as well as Buckminster Fuller's geodesic dome, was a star dome, a map of the sky on a polyhedron that I'd made for my sons many years beforehand. In my memory, it had hexagons, but it also had pentagons. I wondered whether it had 60 vertices and thought about ringing my wife and getting her to count it. But I was going home the next day, so I thought, well, I'll count it myself when I got there.
At Harry's farewell Mexican meal, they talked of layers of graphite, closed cages, C60, and beer.
Drawing on the serviettes and drinking Mexican beer, and really very excited about what C60 might actually be. Now, in fact, they've taken away the serviettes on which we drew the structures, unfortunately.
Rick went home, drew out and cut up little paper hexagons. Harry went to bed thinking of the Star Dome, stored in a box in his basement. 60 jelly beans, joined by cocktail sticks, was the scheme adopted by graduate student Jim Heath. The jelly beans collapsed. The hexagons would curve only by cheating. Hexagons side by side only make a flat surface. Then Rick remembered the pentagons that Harry had talked of. Hexagons round a pentagon. They automatically curved. They made a bowl shape. Then more curves, more and more, all linking. A geodesic sphere. 60 points, 60 carbon atoms. The shape of C60 formed in his hands.
I almost called to get Harry out of bed to tell him about it, but it was 3 o'clock in the morning. I disciplined myself to go to sleep. We couldn't be the first people in the universe to have discovered this structure. They ought to know about the mathematics department. So I called up Bill Beach. I said, Bill, sorry to bother you this morning, but we have this hot new structure for a carbon molecule, and it has 12 pentagons and 20 hexagons. I wonder if you could bother asking one of your students to find out what this polyhedral object is and give us a call back. And he did call back. Bob Curl answered the phone, and the mathematics chairman said, well, I could explain this to you a number of ways, Bob, but what you've got there, boys, is a soccer ball. You can imagine this excitement that you've discovered a way of putting 60 carbon atoms together that turns out not only to be beautifully symmetric, but it's a soccer ball, too.
Their paper to Nature was a front cover story.
A really beautiful picture of C60. It almost looks like you're looking at stars in the sky. It was just such a fantastic moment that as I took the plane back, I was on such a high that I think the airplane would have actually flown without the engines running.
They named their structure Buckminster Fullerene. Buckyballs.
We call that the icosahedron.
Perfect symmetry in a molecule. Symmetry enchanted the ancients.
The Greeks then have one word where we need to say
A hollow cage of carbon. What properties it might bring. The Greeks believed that perfect solids caged the fundamental elements. Fire, earth, air, and water, the icosahedron. Slice off the points and the shape is C60. A ball of carbon 1/1000th of a meter wide. Nature loves the geodesic sphere. It's seen in viruses and microscopic sea creatures. Harry and Rick had stumbled on a mathematical law that any number of hexagons will curve to a sphere if linked by just 12 pentagons. The Expo Dome had pentagons. A tortoise needs one to curve its shell. So did Harry's star dome.
It was so beautiful that it just
There's a
had
recently
to be right.
discovered new mineral of carbon, much like diamond or charcoal or jet, that was discovered in Koralia, Russia. It is a black stone that is often carved into spheres and pyramids. There's an array of different shapes that you can get from shungite. It's kind of a softer mineral, so it can be easily carved, and it holds a neat matte luster type of finish to it. It's used in pendants, spheres, polished cabochons, all different things. It has a unique mineralogical history in that it's been historically identified in Russia as having healing effects. There was a mine there, a big strewn field, and there was Russian soldiers who camped along the field and drank the water. And they attribute its healing effects to a molecule in it called fullerenes, or Buckminster fullerenes, which is a geodesic type of substance that's a carbon molecule that has a unique property of being a strong antioxidant and a carrier of oxygen in the body, kind of like carbon-60 and things like that. Shungite can be purchased in many different forms, from loose rocks to small discs to place on the back of your cell phone to protect against harmful EMF radiation. You can also take the loose rocks and add them to a jar of water, and it will purify the water and give it like life-giving health effects. So it's pretty neat stuff.
Such a fool for you.
We ride together. We die together.
Such a
together. We die together.
So you now start to think about patterns, and then we came to the conclusion that it was the same structure as a soccer ball. That here was a molecule made of pure carbon. And if you'd said that to anybody prior to this, and Peter will probably agree with that, he said, you just would be laughed out of court. I mean, no chemist would ever think you could take pure carbon and dissolve it in benzene. It would act like a molecule.
We ride together.